She slapped the little boy's ice cream to the ground. Yes, she actually did that. Right there on 14th Avenue in front of a crowd of shocked onlookers, Emma Lawson stood like a queen of ice, glaring at the crying child. His chubby cheeks turned red. His mother rushed over, furious. "Are you insane? He's just a kid." Emma didn't flinch. "Then teach him not to step on people's shoes." She walked off in her heels, sharp and unbothered. The whole street buzzed with whispers, "Who hates kids like that?" But Emma didn't care. She despised children. Their sticky fingers. Their loud voices. Their endless needs. To her, children were parasites that sucked the life out of peace and order. She wasn't born that way, though. Once upon a time, she'd dreamed of being a teacher. But after what happened with her little sister 20 years ago, that dream died. No one knew the full story. Not even Emma. Later that same day, Emma strutted into her luxury office tower in Midtown Manhattan. She worked in PR, sharp suits, high-profile clients, scandal control. The usual. But when she got to her desk that morning, something was off. Her boss, Melissa, handed her a new file. "You've been assigned the Prescott Foundation event," she said. Emma's brow twitched. "The children's charity?" Melissa nodded. "It's our biggest client. Don't mess this up." Emma's stomach turned. She hated everything about it: kids, charity, and rich people who thought throwing money made them saints. But she couldn't say no. She needed that promotion. So she fake smiled and got to work. 2 days later, she arrived at the event. It was at a private park, full of smiling children playing games, drawing pictures, and getting free toys. A small stage stood at the center, decked with balloons. Emma wore a pencil skirt, sunglasses, and enough perfume to block out the smell of bubble soap and sweat. She checked her phone, waiting for her client, the elusive billionaire CEO who funded the whole thing. And then, a girl screamed. Emma turned just in time to see a boy fall off the jungle gym. Blood. Tears. Chaos. And Emma. She backed away. "I don't do that," she mumbled to herself. But before she could leave, a hand touched her wrist. "Help him." It was a deep voice. Calm, firm, commanding. She looked up and froze. A tall man in a dark grey suit, no tie, rolled up sleeves, and eyes like a storm cloud was staring down at her. He was breathtaking. And terrifying. The man knelt by the crying boy and calmly pulled off his suit jacket, using it to stop the bleeding on the boy's leg. He looked completely unfazed, like he'd done this 1,000 times. Emma blinked. The boy clung to him like a father. Who are you?" she asked. He turned to her slowly and said, "Logan Prescott." She nearly choked. The Logan Prescott. Billionaire CEO of the Prescott Group. A ghost in the media. Never seen in public. But here he was, helping a kid with blood on his $3,000 jacket like it was nothing. Emma's legs felt weak. "You're late," he added casually. "What?" "I asked for someone compassionate. Not a robot." He stood, lifted the injured boy into his arms, and walked away toward the medical tent without another word. Emma stood frozen, face flushed. The staff and kids stared at her like she was the devil. She hated the way he made her feel. But most of all, she hated that a part of her admired him. After the event, Emma tried to shake it off. But Logan didn't let her. The next morning, she got a call. Unknown number. She answered, annoyed. "Miss Lawson," said the voice, calm and sharp. "This is Logan Prescott. We need to talk. Meet me at 6 p.m., Cafe Venti. Don't be late again." No choice. She showed up. He was already there, coffee in hand, reading a notebook. No security. No assistant. Just a billionaire who looked like he belonged on the cover of Forbes and GQ at the same time. "Sit," he said. She Saturday. "You don't like kids," he said. Emma stiffened. "I don't pretend," she replied. He smirked. "Good. I don't want someone pretending." She blinked. "I want to hire you," he continued. "Not just for PR. For my daughter." Emma almost choked on her espresso. "Excuse me?" She needs someone smart. Someone strong. Someone who doesn't treat her like glass. Emma was speechless. Wait, how old is she? She asked finally. 6. No. I'll double your pay. Emma stared. Logan leaned closer. Triple it. She hesitated. Why me? She asked, suspicious. He studied her. Because you're the only one who looked at her like a person, not a pity project. Emma didn't know what to say. She hated this. She hated the feeling rising in her chest. She hated how fast her heart was beating. She wanted to say no. But something stopped her. His eyes. They weren't the cold eyes of a billionaire. They were desperate. Like a man hiding a secret. Like a father begging for help. And then her phone vibrated. A picture. A little girl with a bandage on her knee, and a tear running down her cheek. Caption: she asked if the nice lady from the park would come visit her. Emma's throat closed. It was the same girl she walked past at the park when she refused to help. The girl she almost ignored. And suddenly, Emma couldn't breathe. Before she could respond, the cafe lights flickered. A man in a black coat walked in, whispered something in Logan's ear. Logan stood fast. His eyes narrowed. He turned to Emma and whispered one word. Run. Then the glass windows shattered behind them. The glass shattered in slow motion. Emma ducked instinctively as shards sprayed across the cafe floor. People screamed. Coffee mugs flew. A waiter tripped backward and crashed into a table. Alarms blared from a nearby security panel. Logan grabbed Emma's hand. Move. He pulled her toward the back exit, fast and focused, like a man trained for chaos. Emma's heels skidded on the tiles, but she kept pace, heart thundering in her chest. Behind them, 2 masked men pushed through the broken glass, one shouting, "He's here. Block the doors." Emma barely processed what was happening. This wasn't just a coffee meeting. This wasn't just about a little girl. They burst through the kitchen. Cooks yelled. Flames from the open stove licked the air as Logan yanked open the back door. They spilled into a narrow alleyway, Logan pressing a button on his watch. A black SUV screeched around the corner a second later. The driver barely stopped. The back door flung open. Logan shoved Emma in and climbed in after her. "Tell me what is going on," Emma yelled. Logan didn't look at her. "They've been watching me for months. But I didn't think they'd follow me here." "Who?" He finally turned to her. "People who want my daughter." Emma's heart dropped. That little girl. The one with the soft brown eyes. The one who asked for her. "What do you mean, your daughter? Who are these people?" But Logan only looked out the window. The car sped through Manhattan like a bullet, weaving between traffic. Logan tapped a message on a tablet screen embedded into the seat in front of him. It showed a real-time satellite feed of the cafe, swarming with NYPD. Emma watched, stunned. "You're being hunted," she whispered. He didn't deny it. 30 minutes later, they arrived at a penthouse in the Upper West Side. Triple locks, biometric scanner, rooftop helipad. Security guards patrolled the perimeter like it was a military base. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. Until... Daddy. The little girl ran from the hallway into Logan's arms. Her hair was braided in twin puffs, her teddy bear clutched tightly in her arms. "Angel," he whispered, holding her close. "Are you okay?" She nodded against his shoulder. Emma froze. It was her. The girl from the playground. The same soft brown eyes. The same teddy bear. Logan stood slowly and looked at Emma. "This is Ava. She remembers you." Ava peeked over his shoulder and gave Emma a shy wave. Emma didn't wave back. She was still shaking. "What did I just walk into?" she whispered. "Is she in danger?" Logan nodded. "From who?" His jaw tightened. "From the people who killed her mother." Emma's breath hitched. He motioned to the sofa. "Sit. I'll explain everything. But I need you to hear me all the way through before you walk out that door." Emma sat, rigid. Her knees still trembled from the cafe ambush. Ava climbed onto the couch beside her, holding her bear tightly. And then Logan began. My name is Logan Prescott. You know the part about me being a CEO. What you don't know is that 3 years ago, my wife Ava's mother was a whistleblower. She uncovered something in one of our major tech contracts. Something bad. Emma leaned forward, confused. What kind of bad? Logan glanced at Ava, then back at Emma. Human trafficking. Emma gasped. Logan continued. Someone inside the company was using our encrypted cloud service to run private data exchanges auctions. Of people. Mostly children. My wife found out and tried to expose it. She was killed 2 weeks later in what they called a car accident. But I know better. Emma's throat dried. She looked at Ava, who was now curled up beside her, fast asleep. Why haven't you gone to the police? I did. The moment I did, the threat started. On my life. On Ava's. On anyone I trusted. So I fired my entire board, sold 60% of the company, and went underground. Emma blinked. He had destroyed his empire to protect his daughter. And now, he was offering to pay her to help protect her. I'm not a bodyguard, she said flatly. No. But you're smart. And strong-willed. And you don't trust anyone. That's exactly what Ava needs right now. Emma swallowed hard. He wasn't asking for a nanny. He was asking for someone who wouldn't flinch when the world turned dark. And Ava. Ava had seen that darkness. Emma hated this feeling. The twist in her stomach. The guilt. The fear. The ache in her chest she couldn't explain. She had spent years building a wall around herself, and now this man and his 6-year-old daughter were chipping away at it. I'll give you 30 days, she said at last. Logan raised a brow. Emma stood, trying to steady her voice. 30 days. I stay with Ava. I work with your team. But if I feel this is beyond me, I walk. Deal, he said quietly. But just as Emma turned to pick up her purse, a red light began flashing on the hallway wall. Ava stirred awake. Logan's face dropped. What now? Emma asked. He stepped in front of her protectively and pointed toward a dark room behind a hidden door. Take Ava, he ordered. Go in there. Lock it. Don't come out until I say. Wait. Now. The lights flickered. Emma picked up Ava and ran. The panic room door slammed shut behind her. Emma clutched Ava tightly, listening. Outside, footsteps. Then, gunfire. Inside the dark room, the only sound was Ava whispering into Emma's ear. I told Daddy someone was coming. I saw him in my dream. Emma froze. Who? She whispered. But Ava only stared at the wall. And drew a crooked smiley face into the dust with her tiny finger. The silence in the panic room was louder than the gunfire outside. Emma clutched Ava close, her breath shallow. Her back was pressed against the cold steel wall, and her eyes darted around the dark space lit only by a single emergency bulb. The room was small, no windows, no furniture, just a bench, a vent, and a biometric keypad by the door. Ava's whisper echoed in Emma's ears. I saw him in my dream. Emma couldn't shake the way the girl had said it, calm, almost certain. Like she knew this would happen. Emma gently pushed Ava's hair back and tried to stay calm. What did you see, sweetheart? She asked quietly. Ava didn't look at her. Her fingers were still tracing strange shapes into the dust on the floor. I saw a man. Tall. With one green eye. And fire in his pocket. Emma's stomach tightened. Fire in his pocket. Before she could ask more, the room jolted. Boom. An explosion rocked the penthouse above. Dust rained from the ceiling vent. Emma flinched and covered Ava with her body, shielding her. This was real. And it was getting worse. Upstairs, chaos raged. Logan crouched behind a flipped table, gun drawn, barking orders into his earpiece. They're inside. 2 men, maybe 3. South hallway. Code black. His voice was steady, but his mind was spinning. How had they breached the building? His security system was military grade. Someone on the inside must have helped them. He would deal with that later if he survived. He heard footsteps behind him, quiet, deliberate. He stood and fired. The figure dropped. Another rushed in from the side. Logan rolled across the hardwood, knocked over a sculpture, and dove behind the piano. Then, click. He was out of ammo. The gunman raised his weapon. But before he could shoot, a guard tackled him from the side. The two men wrestled. Logan grabbed the attacker's wrist and snapped it clean. The gun clattered to the floor. Logan snatched it, turned, and fired once. Silence. He stood, panting. Blood. Bodies. Broken furniture. But no sign of Ava. Which meant Emma did her job. He glanced at the control panel near the bookshelf and punched in a code. A screen slid open, revealing a camera feed of the panic room. There she was, Emma, holding Ava, crouched and alert. He exhaled in relief. For now, they were safe. But the worst wasn't over. Back inside the panic room, Emma finally stood, her nerves frayed. She could hear faint movement outside now, furniture shifting, footsteps, maybe a voice. And then, the keypad lit up. Emma's heart jumped. Someone was trying to unlock the door. No, 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 she whispered. Ava looked up, confused. Is it Daddy? I don't know. Emma backed up, pulled Ava behind her, and looked around for anything to defend them with. The keypad turned red. Then green. The heavy door began to open. Emma braced herself. But it wasn't a stranger. It was Logan. His shirt was torn, blood on his collar, but his eyes locked on Ava. You're okay, he whispered. Ava leapt into his arms. He held her tight. Emma's knees nearly gave out in relief, but she covered it fast. You said this place was secure, she snapped. Logan nodded grimly. It was. Until tonight. He turned to Emma, and for the first time, he looked vulnerable. I don't know who to trust anymore, he said. Which is why I need you to stay here. With her. Just for tonight. Emma blinked. What? I need to chase this trail myself. I can't take her with me. And I can't leave her alone. Emma looked down at Ava, then back at Logan. I'm not a mother. Logan stepped forward. But you didn't run. You didn't panic. And she trusts you. That's more than anyone else. Ava tugged on Emma's sleeve. Please stay. Emma's chest tightened. She hated how that little voice cracked her armor. Hours passed. Night fell. Emma stayed. She read Ava bedtime stories awkwardly, at first. Ava fell asleep halfway through Goodnight Moon. Emma watched her chest rise and fall gently under the covers of the guest bed. She hated that she felt something. Peace. She stood by the window, arms crossed, staring into the Manhattan skyline. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Hello. A deep voice, filtered, disguised, answered. He thinks you're safe. He thinks she's safe. But you're not. Neither of you. Emma's breath caught. Tell Logan, he's already too late. The call ended. Emma's hands trembled. She looked at the phone screen. The number vanished. No record. No trace. Suddenly, Ava whimpered in her sleep. Emma turned. Ava was tossing and turning, face pale, lips murmuring. Emma sat beside her. It's okay, she whispered. I'm here. But Ava's eyes shot open. And what she said made Emma's blood run cold. The man with the green eye is coming tonight. Emma's heart stopped. Logan's penthouse window cracked. Wind rushed in. And in the reflection of the glass, Emma saw a shadow move behind her. She turned quickly, but the hallway was empty. Then, the lights cut out. Pitch black. Ava whispered, he's here. The lights went out. Total blackout. Emma grabbed Ava and backed into the corner. Her pulse roared in her ears. The air turned ice cold. Even the city noise from outside seemed to vanish. Then, footsteps. Slow. Precise. Coming down the hallway. She locked the bedroom door and reached for the flashlight beside the bed. Ava clung to her waist, whispering, it's him, the green-eyed man. Emma whispered back, stay quiet. Don't move. Suddenly. Bang. The door shook. Someone was trying to force it open. Emma dragged a dresser in front of it, her hands shaking. Then her phone lit up. Logan was calling. She answered in a whisper. "He's here." "I'm 5 minutes away," Logan said. "Get to the safe hatch under the closet floor. Now." Emma yanked open the closet. In the corner, barely visible, was a square panel. She pulled it open. A tight tunnel led downward. She lifted Ava in first. The girl whimpered but obeyed. The door behind them banged harder. Emma slipped in and slammed the hatch shut just as the bedroom door burst open. They crawled for 2 minutes in darkness until they reached a steel ladder. Emma climbed up and opened a hatch into a silent underground garage. A black car waited. Logan stood by it. Emma emerged, breathless, Ava in her arms. Logan's face was pale. "They know everything," he said. "The safe house is compromised. My entire security system was hacked." Emma stepped forward. "Who are these people?" Logan clenched his jaw. "I finally know who's behind it. And it's someone I trusted." Emma's eyes narrowed. "Who?" He hesitated. Then he said one name. "My brother." Emma gasped. "What?" But Logan opened the car door. "We don't have time. Get in." As the engine roared to life and they sped off into the night, Emma held Ava close, but her mind was spiraling. If Logan's own family betrayed him, who else was part of this? And what secret was Ava still hiding? As they raced through the night, Ava stirred awake and said softly, "Daddy, why did Uncle Blake call me by the wrong name?" Logan's hands froze on the steering wheel. Emma turned sharply. "What did she just say?" Logan whispered, "My brother doesn't know her real name." Emma's breath caught. "Then who does?" Ava's voice was flat. "The man with the green eye. He called me Riley." The name hit Logan like a bullet. "Riley," he whispered, swerving the car sharply onto a hidden side road. Emma gripped the door. "What does that mean?" Logan didn't answer. His mind was racing. That name, it didn't belong to Ava. It belonged to a child from a government witness list. A list that disappeared the same day his wife died. Emma leaned toward him. "You need to talk. Now." Logan pulled the car into an abandoned airport hangar. As the engine died, he turned to face Emma and Ava, eyes stormy. "My daughter's name isn't Ava. It's Riley Monroe." Emma blinked. 5 years ago, the FBI placed Riley into witness protection after her mother, an insider, leaked files exposing a secret elite trafficking ring. Riley was the only living witness. "My wife helped her escape. That's why they killed her." He paused, then added quietly, "I adopted Riley. Changed her name. Hid her from the world." Emma stared at the little girl beside her, now fast asleep in the back seat, her thumb resting against her cheek. "She doesn't know?" Emma asked. "No. She thinks I'm her biological father. She doesn't remember anything from before. But someone does." Logan stood and pressed a button on his watch. Hidden lights blinked on across the hangar. A small plane stood ready. The pilot stepped out and nodded. 10 minutes to take off. Emma frowned. "Where are we going?" Logan's voice was firm. "Montana. A secure compound. No Wi-Fi. No phones. No access." Emma turned to him. "You want to disappear?" "No," he said. "I want to end this." He pulled out a flash drive from his jacket. "These are the files my wife died for. The proof. Names, payments, everything. My brother is one of them. And this time, I'm not hiding it." He handed the flash drive to Emma. "You're the only one I trust to get this to the press if I don't make it." Emma's chest tightened. "Wait, what are you saying?" Logan looked at her, eyes fierce. "I'm going to meet Blake. Alone. I've traced his hideout. If I confront him directly, he'll lower his guard." Emma stepped in front of him. "You can't go alone," but Logan touched her shoulder gently. "I've lived in shadows for too long. I built walls to protect Riley. But you changed everything. She smiles because of you. She laughs because of you. For the first time since her mother died, she feels safe." Emma's throat tightened. She looked at the sleeping girl, then back at the man who once seemed unreachable. I hated children, Emma said softly. I didn't know why. I thought it was because they were loud, messy, needy. But the truth is, I hated what I lost. My sister. She died when I was 13, and I never forgave myself. Tears filled her eyes. I buried the pain. But Riley, she brought it back. And somehow healed it. Logan reached for her hand. You're not running anymore, he said. Neither was he. 3 hours later, Logan stood face to face with his brother in a private airstrip office in Connecticut. Blake Prescott, dressed in a $5,000 suit, leaned against his desk, smiling smugly. You really brought her into this? Blake asked. The PR girl with the ice heart? Logan didn't flinch. That PR girl saw through you the second she met me. He tossed the flash drive onto the desk. I'm done playing your game. This goes live tonight. Every name. Every file. You're finished. Blake laughed. You think I'm afraid of headlines? No, Logan said. But you're afraid of one thing. He stepped closer. Riley. Blake's eyes twitched. She's alive, he asked. Logan smiled coldly. And she remembers. Just then, the door burst open. FBI. Guns drawn. Hands where we can see them. Blake's face drained of color. You set me up. Logan stepped back as agents handcuffed his brother. No, Logan said. You did that yourself. Meanwhile, Emma and Riley landed in Montana safely. The compound was quiet, surrounded by mountains, far from the reach of the dark world they escaped. Riley looked up at Emma that night, brushing her teeth. Are you my real mommy now? Emma knelt. She didn't cry. Not this time. Instead, she whispered. I wasn't born your mom. But I choose you. Every day. Riley smiled and threw her arms around her. From somewhere deep inside, Emma felt something open, something soft, something she thought she had lost forever. Love. 6 months later. The Prescott files exploded across every major news outlet. Arrests. Resignations. Investigations. The ring was dismantled piece by piece. Logan testified in front of Congress. Blake got 40 years in federal prison. But none of it made headlines as big as this. Billionaire CEO resigns to start new life with former PR exec and daughter he saved from human trafficking. In their new home, nestled in the quiet hills of Oregon, Logan knelt in front of Emma, holding a simple gold ring. I've lost too much, he said. But you gave me everything. Emma smiled, tears in her eyes. And you taught me to love what I feared the most. She turned to Riley, who grinned ear to ear. Emma looked at the man who changed her life, then at the child who saved it. And said, yes. The three of them, Logan, Emma, and Riley, stood in the grass, watching the sunset. Hand in hand. No more secrets. No more running. Just healing. And home.